And I just want to show you the live pictures again from the capital of Lebanon, Beirut. There you can see a huge plume of black smoke. We were talking to our correspondent Jonathan, he was talking about how Israel has bombed targets in those southern suburbs of the Lebanese capital again. So, there you can see the smoke. This of course comes meanwhile, while Hamas officials in Gaza say more than 70 people have been killed in an Israeli airstrike in the north of the territory. Israel saying that is an exaggeration. Let's cross to our correspondent Davis, who is in Jerusalem. So what do we know about these latest strikes in Gaza?
As you said, latest strikes is, perhaps the key word. This is an ongoing, military offensive by Israel now that's been focused on northern Gaza for well over a week. Israel saying it's going after the remaining Hamas and Islamic Jihad fighters in the area, but of course, more than 400,000 people are in effect trapped in parts of northern Gaza, and the latest incident was an Israeli strike against what is reported to be a residential tower block in Beit Lahia, right in the north of the Gaza Strip. As you said, according to local Hamas-run health authority and local officials, there more than 70 people are killed. Israel has issued a statement doubting those figures, saying they're exaggerated, but conversely local officials saying they expect to find even more bodies in the rubble of the building. The UN has described the humanitarian situation in that part of northern Gaza is absolutely unbearable, with not enough food aid getting through, and what is in effect an Israeli blockade now about around that part of northern Gaza.
Is there anywhere that the Palestinian people can go? What does Israel say about where is safe?
There no. Well, Israel says it has encouraged, even forced people to try, civilians to try and leave the areas of fighting and go to what is well described as safe areas, but as we saw in that letter from the Americans last week, that was leaked, there is no real safe area in Gaza. Indeed, many of the fatalities we've seen in the recent weeks have been people who've moved from one part of northern Gaza to a designated safe area, and then that area has come under attack. A relentless attack by the Israelis, and civilians have been killed there. So I think it's fanciful to think at the minute that there is such a thing as a safe area, particularly in northern Gaza. And that is the UN's point, is that there is nowhere that safe. Life is unbearable for people. However many people were killed in this latest air strike, we know that hundreds have been killed in this operation in the last week or so. More than 42,000 people have been killed in Gaza. It's since the start of the war. Many of those people are civilians, and the death toll continues to rise.
And is there any sign that Israel is going to allow more humanitarian aid in, like the US has demanded that it should?
Yeah, Israel is under massive pressure to allow more aid in. Israel again. You listen to the Israeli representative at the UN, Danny Danan. He says there is no aid crisis. He says there are millions of tons of aid getting in. Well, that doesn't relate to facts on the ground. The UN says that barely a fraction of what is needed is getting in. 50 trucks, for example, have been getting in per day over the last few days. Well, that's way short of the 500 trucks a day that are needed. Some aid is being dropped, but from the air it looks impressive, but it doesn't go anywhere near to alleviating the needs of the people in northern Gaza.
And meanwhile, yesterday we had that drone getting near to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's house from Lebanon.
Yeah, that was a drone which appeared to be an attack on Mr. Netanyahu's private residence in Caesarea, which is in northern Israel now. He later said he directly accused Iran through its proxy Hezbollah of trying to kill him and his wife Sarah. Maybe that indicates a tougher stance against Hezbollah and Iran, but Netanyahu certainly saw that as an attack against him. One thing that has emerged in the last few hours is that Donald Trump said he spoke to Benjamin Netanyahu in the hours after that incident, and Netanyahu, and he said this is according to Donald Trump. Netanyahu had forged on and he was in the strong position he was now despite President Biden. He said he wasn't listening to Biden's concerns about the war. That is, of course, all according to Donald Trump. Thanks for watching this video.